my friends? Welcome back to Creatures of the Edge. Light and Variable is available now. It is on most of the streaming platforms as far as I know. I know I've heard it on Spotify. I know I've seen it on iTunes. I haven't checked Amazon yet. It's definitely on Instagram. Starting with this episode and beyond, I recommend that you tune into Instagram because that's going to be kind of the focal point of social media from this point forward. It occurred to me that not a lot of people are obsessed with YouTube in the manner that I am, where it's the first thing I check every day to see if, I've got videos from my favorite content creators. And I mean, some of those videos, they're all over the place. Obviously, I'm obsessed with the Miami Dolphins, so I got my guys there. I also got into a thing where I just love watching people build mountain bike trails. Done a little mountain biking in my day, but nothing crazy. I don't know what it is about watching someone just kind of hack away time-lapse style on the side of a mountain, make a mountain bike trail. And it's with that kind of stuff in mind that I started this channel. And the reason the channel is the format that it is, where it's very casual thus far, is because I'm just kind of banking on me being cool enough for you to want to hear from once a week. Interesting enough, cool enough, weird enough. I don't know. I have lots that I want to offer you, but I'm still kind of fumbling my way through this music creation process. I've been working on this stuff for 20 years now, literally 20 years. I'm 37 years old. I recorded my first song in my garage with my uncle and my cousin and my brother. We recorded our first song on like a little portable 8-track recorder or something. From the earliest times that I can remember, I was trying to write songs before I even knew how to play instruments properly. And so writing music is what I've always done. And so this channel is less about the technical aspect of that, and it's more of just an all-encompassing process, so you can really see what it's like, the kinds of things that are going across my mind as I make decisions. As I get a little more comfortable and confident in the decisions that I'm making, I intend to share my insight with you in terms of plugin settings and thoughts on just different things mix-wise. Right now, you could get someone who's more certain and who's done more mixing than I have. I've only mixed my own stuff for years now. I've been mixing my own stuff, and most of it is garbage. Up until about 6 months ago when I released Mr. Perfect, most of it has been short of the bar that I know exists for professional music. So still learning. And the reason I say all this is because I scratched and clawed my way through the creation of Light and Variable. I made the final update was video 5. I think I released that 3 weeks ago. It has been the biggest struggle since. And I completely remixed that song compared to the last video. So I got to do an official update on that. But I can tell you this much. It was way over processed. And I think that's a trap that I think every aspiring music creator is going to run into. Songs that aren't processed enough and then over processed. And then eventually you kind of find your way into that happy medium. And that's what happened with Light and Variable. Last time I left you guys, I was like, this is the mix. I'm going to put it up in a couple days. I sat on it for a night or two and just listened to it a couple more times. Went, no, it's too bassy. There's this one guitar part that needs to be a little bit louder. And then, it took a couple days of me kind of being bummed out that I still didn't have it done. And I said I had it done. And then I got back to work. And then the disaster happened with the plugin settings getting kind of erased upon a computer crash. So everything was still there, the plugin chains, but every third plugin was reset back to default. My reverbs, compressors, limiters, all that sort of stuff was all jacked up. So after moping around about that, I got back to work. I remixed it in 2 days. I took so much out and it sounds so much better. And that's what I mean by overprocessed. There were too many plugins, too much compression, too much this, too much that. And I was so far into it that there was simple stuff that I had missed, simple editing problems, where like a cymbal is cutting off weird and too soon. And, it's off time and I wasn't hearing it because of all this other stuff that I was focused on. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise to have that happen because it forced me to go back and make the song what I knew it could be. And so with that in mind, I kind of think that Light and Variable is the best mix I've done so far. It doesn't have the space that Rumination and Stoneburner have, But I think that's because of the structure of the song and the speed of the song. It's very full. There's not a lot of space. There's not a lot of ringing out in that song. Instruments are going and going and going and going for 2 minutes, and then it's done. I think about the amount of things that are in that song, though. It was definitely the most complicated mix that I've done. Getting everything to fit in that one was tough. So I think I'm going to be using that as kind of the basis for future mixes. It'll kind of become my template, the way I did things on that song. And to be fair, I actually went back, replugged in the Rumination kick drum settings and, this and that pulled from other mixes that I liked. I went back to the Stoneburner bass, plugged it back in and went, this was the bass, and it was funny because there was double the amount of plugins on the channel strip for light and variable as when I went back. So that's the simplification factor, is like you do what the song needs and you keep doing that. And then eventually you realize you have this monster plugin chain. And if you go back and kind of start over with what the end result is in mind, you can find a faster way to get there. I'm seeing the metaphor in my head now of like stepping stones that weave their way all around and you get to the same end point, but there's actually a couple stones that you could just bounce from here to here to here instead, and you get there. So that's kind of what happened on that one. So mostly what we're here to do today is introduce the next song, Snake Hands. My cousin said my dancing style was it's like your hands look like snakes. So that's where that came from. I don't know if we'll stick with that. We'll see. But I wanted to kind of show you what this song was at the last time I worked on it, which was several years ago now. This was the last bounce I had. You can see I was having trouble with these kick drums because it's absurd what I'm looking at waveform wise here. It's hard to believe that I would have bounced something that looked like that. And this is with a massive amount of processing from this limiter. I have the bass down 30, like the foundation is down 30, and that's to take the bass out so that this is somewhat audible because it was ridiculous. So this is what the song kind of sounds like, and then I'll talk about where I want it to go after. So let's check it out. So that's kind of what it was. Whereas I was listening to a lot of drum and bass leading up to Light and Variable, I've been kind of back on the trap train. So I think I'm going to take this song in a little bit different direction, just to get some of those trap elements in there. There's a cool saxophone solo in this song, but to get there, there's a very slow, brooding section comes after this. And I'm not sure it's what I want because I'm ready to kind of drop a proper dance song. We'll see how it comes out. At the end of the day, I just have to follow my ears is what I have to just stick to, because I'm not writing trap. I want there to be some elements of that. But I was having that problem with drum and bass, is every time I would turn on a sub-focus song, or it's like, man, this is so different how everything's hitting. And I was like, yeah, but he's not mixing in 2 different guitar parts, horns, keys. He doesn't have all that stuff. There's like a couple synths going and a huge bass. So it's very different, and it's a challenge to try to maintain the kick drum and snare drum, because it's essential to dance music that you have those hitting hard. And I want them to hit hard in my songs too. Sometimes it's a little hard to get them to stand out depending on the types of guitar parts and stuff that you're adding, because you're sucking up a lot of the frequency spectrum. I know I feel more confident than ever that it continues to be possible. Just judging on what I've put out thus far, I know this song has a lot of potential, and we're going to get it there over the next 5, 6, 7 sessions or so. So make sure you like and subscribe if you want to continue to follow along the creation of Snake Hands and many more songs to come. Head over to Instagram and follow the channel, because that's going to be kind of home base from now on. And I'm going to try and get the Instagram people to come here. I'm doing advertising now on Instagram, so hopefully we'll start to see some traction. And make sure you give Light and Variable a listen. It turned out to be a pretty cool song, and I think it's a hell of a 2 minutes. So yeah, guys, have a great rest of the day. Thanks for hanging out with me, and we'll see you back here soon. Peace out.